Good morning. I'm Jim Deal, and I want to tell you a little story about our church and how I saw the Holy Spirit and God acting for our church. In the 1990s, our church was located on King Street, and we were very limited in size because we were constrained. We couldn't get enough property to do a family life center. We didn't have the ability to do some other programs that we felt that our church was called to do. So we made a decision, if we could, to try to relocate the church to New Market, where we currently are. In order to relocate to New Market, we needed to sell our church. The university was interested in buying our church, but there were significant issues involved in terms of the university had limited funds. We needed a certain amount of money from the sale of the property to be able to make our project work. So we began negotiating with the universities. I was privileged to be able to handle that negotiation for the church, and I met frequently with the chancellor of the university. Over a series of months, we simply were not able to come together on the agreement. We needed more money than the university had to put into the project. I had a meeting following a Sunday service at our church. Appalachian had a basketball game that afternoon, and I went to that basketball game and I saw the chancellor. And the chancellor and I sat down and talked, and at the end of that discussion, the chancellor said, "I don't believe we're going to be able to make this deal work." As I walked out of the basketball game, walking back up to the church where my car was parked, I had a little prayer, and I said, "God, you and the Holy Spirit are going to have to make this happen if you want us to move, if you feel like it's what we need to do as a part of your mission for Boone United Methodist Church." I had probably taken one or two steps when an idea came into my head that I had never thought of before that enabled us to sell the property for what the university had available, but for us to stay in the church for 3 years for rent free. So we got the money up front, and we were able to stay in the church for 3 years while we were building our new church. So we had the money available from the beginning without having to pay a significant rent to the university. By doing it that way, our church was able to get the funds we needed, and the university was able to acquire the building for the funds they had available. That building is now the Turchin Center. It's a wonderful arts building there on campus, and we're at New Market. And in my opinion, it was not any idea that Jim Deal had, because I hadn't thought of it. It was an idea that the Holy Spirit and that God felt like we needed to find a way to come to New Market. And in my opinion, it's one of the best things that's ever happened to our church, because we have been able to grow exponentially, and we've been able to serve people in a far better way than we could before that happened. So at the end of the day, God's the one that took us from King Street to New Market.